to the one he did, I think it was in the second quarter, where he just came through and blasted. This was superb.
Yeah, he's had a big quarter. 5 inside 50s for Simpkin in this quarter.
Averaging 2.5 goals per game this year. Oh, he's nursed that a little bit. Don't say that too often.
Very close to the man on the mark.
Yeah.
Lucky, yeah, you're right. He just messed up his run-up on that occasion.
17-6. 4 misses from set shots this year, Nick Lark. He hasn't quite been as deadly accurate as what we've become accustomed to. So it's 5 points the difference rather than 11.
Get another opportunity here, though. The Kangaroos win the ball back. Ball kick out of defence by the Lions.
Maybe Pink takes what was on offer. Harris Andrews from the side. Lucky again makes the contest. Xavier's just cruised out of there. Left foot kick all of a sudden. Asking Zerha. Gardner defies that. And Lockie Neal kind of made that up. And he did pretty well with a makeshift kick. Out to Fletcher, who stabs it down the line for the hard-running Loman.
Good mopping up here from Brisbane. They now know psychologically they have got the challenge. So the clutch has gone in, the gear has been engaged, Jono, and now they've got to really work hard, the Kangaroos.
Silko to Gardner. Quick transition for Archie, but Condon able to interfere without winning it back. Archie's forward handball to McCluggage, wanted to go internally. Charlie Cameron had a look, and that was all he needed. He's a glorious sight in full flight.
Well, he looked left, had a quick glance at the goals, and set himself beautifully. And they got the good overlap here as well. You can just see there, Charlie.
They got the 2-on-1
out.
You can't have a 2-on-1 and leave Charlie over the top.
That's right.
Crazy stuff there from the Kangaroos. Their decision-making's got to get better. They hit the front all of a sudden. The Premiers say, righto, let's see how good you are. Brilliant stuff here from McCluggage, and then Charlie caught this.
What a snap. From so far out.
Oh, and so much joy. Young lady in the grandstand behind her.
Over Daniel just with the blood rule.
That's what he looks like, in case you're wondering.
Yes.
Steadier for the Lions, the ladder leading Lions. It's 7 wins and 1 loss versus 1 win and 7 losses. Contest.
Can't take that, George. Get it back quickly.
Is what we have. Parker. Time has allowed Brisbane to fill the defensive 50. Zerha, could he be the option here? Starts a long way back and doesn't fly. McCluggage was ready to put the tackle on. McCluggage has gone to ground.
Yeah.
Slides in high.
Having a great season, McCluggage, except that kick.
Lucky.
That one backfires.
He just got his teasing distance spot on there, Larky. So he was able to get back and take a great intercept mark. Oh, good pick up, well read.
So he doesn't miss 2 shots at goal in a row too often. But every now and then.
Not making the distance from there. We know he likes just to get it over the goal line, but his that kick in particular, that's a big mistake by Larky.
Rattled him a little bit.
Yep.
Silko length from the kick to McCluggage, covered in the air by McDonald.
It's a great kick though, and it's absolutely perfect. And have a look there.
Tristan, Oscar, hold the meter.
11 clearances to 3 North Melbourne.
That's how he broke the snows.
In this third quarter, Jared. It's a big number.
Yeah, it's a huge number.
High contact.
So this will be 12 to 3 in terms of clearances. 3-3 to 1-5 for the quarter.
So He just bangs it up there again, probing away, and it drops for Parker, who's always had that ability. Prime midfielder of the Sydney Swans for over a decade, a premiership player way back when as a sub. He's always had that ability as a mid to go forward.
I mean, if you think back through the last 15 years, he'd be in the top 2 or 3 mids that can go forward, if not number 1. 6
goals, 2 in 8 games coming in today. No major drama until it hits the post.
He's had a couple of set shots, hasn't he, in this game, where he hasn't nailed the opportunity.
Both teams have missed gettable shots in this quarter. 3-4 to 1-5. Of late, it's been the Kangaroos. Set shots for the night. 4-5 Brisbane, 3-3 North. And they lock it in again. Pink has his way there.
Well, they've got to make the most of this domination.
To full forward. Zerha. Almost. Stevens turned at the right time. The ball juts out and then goes back under Stevens.
Got to be careful of that. Oh, he's gone. He did drag that back in, Stevens. Okay. Yeah, but bobbled out and then...
Did he drag it?
Yeah, he dragged it back in.
Okay.
Yes, that's the right call by the ump.
Wow, that's
a good handball.
15. Handball was at least 15. From Gardner to Leicester.
It's a couple of times now they've gone a 2-on-1. That is a deliberate let it go over the boundary line.
They're not playing great footy. We can all see that, the Brisbane Lions. So, massive opportunity here for the Kangaroos. Now, they've got to restrict this last minute 27, not allow Brisbane to go forward, and hopefully they can themselves and really tighten up this for the last quarter.
Well, Cherry's had 6 clearances himself. I'm going to give him that one.
Well, that was one of his better, as he put it in the path of Simpkins, set them on the way. O'Sullivan inside the 50, barely. Zerha takes it out to Scott. High for Darling, or Larkey again looming.
See what they can set up here, because they have dominated clearance. We've mentioned that already. 13-3 in this quarter, North Melbourne, and they've been pretty good all year at scoring from stoppage. So,
well, the big O has to lift. His man's giving him a bit of a toweling up at the moment.
Again,
beaten by the big X.
Mr. Oski, give me room, please. Give me room.
Davies Uniac. Rapid fire.
Well, the big O slammed it down his throat, and he slammed it out of bounds in the full.
50 seconds. What will be the mindset here of Brisbane Lions?
Well, they'll just be looking to get to 3-quarter time now. Brisbane.
3-4 to 1-5 in this quarter.
It's a great mark over the heat.
Sure thing. Down the wing. Pink.
The curator's been very creative during the week down there in Tassie, Jono. I'm sure you've picked up the semicircle.
I have.
Maybe a few crop circles. There's a full moon, and it's the sort of night when anything could happen. Sheasel jams it forward. O'Sullivan in amongst 3 lines. Leicester to Andrews to Zorko. And that was a bit of a chopper of a kick. Marked by Sheasel. What a corner. North Melbourne 7 shots to 6. They kicked 3-4 to 1-5. There were so many moments for both teams, particularly in the second half of that quarter for Alistair Clarkson. And Brisbane don't seem to quite be at their best, so Chris Fagan will have to get them nice and fired up in this last term. North Melbourne will sense they're a chance. 17th place against top of the ladder heading into this round. And we got one more upset to come, another thriller in this round 9 full of drama. And this Sunday ticket in Tassie.
All right, folks, 3-quarter time here at Ninja Stadium in Hobart. Wow, what a game. 7-9-51 the Lions. North Melbourne 6-6-42. Who would have thought it was only going to be 9 points in at a three-quarter time? Come on, North Melbourne, you can do it. That's who I'm going for as well. Hey, Levi, how you doing? You're watching it right now. Good stuff. Fun X5. Go Roos. Hey, Mark. We want the Roos too. We want the Roos. So the pie is still on top of the ladder. There's the ladder. There's the live ladder. Brisbane win. They go to the top. Yeah, North Melbourne down the bottom with just one win. So we're hoping for that. I only just started this game, so I haven't seen too much of it. But North Melbourne must be putting up a reasonably good fight down there in Hobart. Brisbane is certainly, well, they didn't really come out of the blocks. They got to about a 10-point lead at quarter time. 9 point, not many goals. 2 goals in the first, 4 goals in the second. Just the 1 goal, 5 in the third for the Lions. Whereas North Melbourne, 1 goal, 2-2, and 3 goals, 4 in that third term. Not a bad effort, outscoring the Lions in that third term. Bring it back to 9 points. Well done, North Melbourne. Let's hope you can get up over the line today. Let's go and have a look and see who the goal scorers are, because I haven't checked on this yet so far, folks. Haven't checked on this. Welcome into everyone. Hey, don't forget, vote who you think's going to win. So far, 57% of saying Brisbane Lions are going to win this game. No, it's going to be interesting. Goal kickers for North Melbourne. Zurhaar's got 2. There we go. George Wardle's got 1. Stevenson, McKercher. Nick Larkey's got 1 for the Lions. Cam Rayner's got a couple. There we go. Eric Hipwood. He's got a couple also. Charlie Cameron continues his goal kicking. Well done, Charlie. He's got 1. Levi Ashcroft. Callum Archie. Oh, bless you. He's got 1 as well. Disposal getters. There we go. Dane Zorko having a big game there for the Lions. 26 touches, 20 kicks, 6 handballs. 4 marks, 1 tackle. Harry Schneasel leads the way with Ukanaki for North Melbourne on 24. Well done, boys. Stevenson, 21. Let's just roll down the board a bit before the commentators come back. Hey, Hugh McCluggage, don't forget your luggage. You're on 19 there for the Lions. Levi Ashcroft's up to 20. Luke Parker's having a good game there for the Kangaroos. He's up to 18. Gotta like that, the old boy. Wardle there on 14. Who else have we got down there? Let's roll on down. We're going to be back to the game in just a moment, folks. Cam Rayner, as I said, 11 touches. He doesn't want a handball. He just wants to kick it. 11 touches, 11 kicks. 2 goals. Lockie Neal. Oh, Lockie Neal's having a quiet one this afternoon. Just the 11. 4 and 7. 5 tackles, a couple of clearances for him. Sure, he'll have a good quarter in the last. The good players, the champs, normally come to the fore, don't they? Charlie Cameron, where's he? I want to have a look at him. He's just had the 6 touches, 4 kicks, 1 goal, 1, couple of handballs. He's had 3 marks also and a tackle. Be interesting to see whether he can get on song. Hey, Emmanuel, how you going? Welcome back in. I thought I'd just pop over and do this one because she's a tight game here down in Hobart, Ninja Stadium. A few ninjas about. All right, there we go. Let's go Roos. Yeah, we're going for the Roos as well. There we go. I don't know. Who do you reckon is going to win? We all want the Roos. Just point this ladder out again. That's the ladder. We don't want that to happen. You know what? None of the teams there want Brisbane to win, because that means Brisbane will go a game and 2 games clear. If North Melbourne win, all these teams will be within a game or 2 of the top of the ladder. Hey, that's enough for me. Jibber jabbering. Let's get back down to the ground and they'll take us into the final quarter. Whereas the Lions by 9 points.
We see another upset tonight as well, Hutto. 9 points the margin as we enter this last quarter. But that was a superb quarter from the Kangas, and it started around the football at those clearances. And it was led by Christian Cherry. So as you have a look at these numbers, plus 12 in the clearance numbers, and we rarely, if ever, speak about that against the Brisbane Lions with who they have in the midfield. But here's the area of improvement, and it was spoken about a lot during that third quarter. That's all they got out of all of that domination. So you get field position, you allow your defenders to set up behind the football, but they're not capitalising when they go forward. If they can replicate that again in this next 30 minutes, they will go a long way in bridging that 9-point gap.
I agree, Dal. And you look at the key players in that third quarter for North Melbourne with Simpkin and Parker. And Lockie Neal, only the 2 touches for the Brisbane Lions, only 11 for the game. So he's been well held tonight, hasn't been able to find his way into the contest. But with a quarter to go, we know he's capable of some massive moments to help Brisbane get over the line here.
Well, the question is who's going to break out for the Kangaroos if they're going to win this game. Somebody has to get on top in the middle and get on top inside forward 50. And vice versa, the Big O, he's got a lift. He's getting a bit of a toweling at the present time, but if he can get on top, this game could be over in 10 minutes.
So the coaches have had their say. Now it's up to the players. Last quarter from Ninja Stadium. Brisbane, a couple of goes at it. Dunkley succeeds on the second. Over Hipwood. Cameron already kicked one brilliant goal. He could be the difference between the two teams, but that's not as good as the last. He can kick them on the left, but doesn't there.
And you just saw the pace differential between him and Hattie Sheasel. I'm sure that's the best matchup.
Yeah, Rick McDonald has played on him at times in the past. And Daniel tiptoes into the back pocket and then sends it high towards Darling. Andrews does what he always does. Down the line goes Comben. McCluggage gets there first.
Having another great game for the Lions, McCluggage.
Possession 21 coming up. The 30s last week. High ball, just dropping a fraction short. The high flies Comben again.
Brilliant roving there for Lockie now.
Wasn't it? To Fletcher and then to Rayner. Seen to safety by Sheasel.
Very good job by Sheasel. Had to come forward at the contest and the ball and did that effectively. Just to hold Brisbane.
Lock up again. Neil, what a start to the quarter. Ashcroft, it's low, it was markable, but not for Hipwood in the end. Punch came Causeway, couldn't control it. Slight fumble. Cameron tries to seize that. Pink does well. Can stand here a long way from home. Just flipped the ball up, but it was well read. Zorko with a forward handball. Hardiman made a second go. The boundary was irresistible for him.
Well, Dylan Stevens lined up on Lockie Neal, then went ball watching. And Dylan Stevens just gave him a total lesson. So he may get somebody different this time round. Doesn't look like it's Bailey Scott.
Powell.
Well, Powell needs to keep inside his shadow.
Oscar gets a fist onto that one, so he gets one back. Ashcroft, Hipwood, McCluggage, Powell. So I think he's way through. That might have been a bit fancy from Simpkin. Nothing fancy about Dunkley, but he's so effective. Gave it, got it back, sends him forward. Fletcher in his 50th. Wasn't sure whether to fly or not. Charlie's probably a better bet. He's down, sliding over the line and out of bounds. Is we going to bring the motorbike back, Charlie, do you think?
Oh, yeah, 100%. There'll be a big goal at the Gabba. It'll return.
On the throw. Both ruckmen with the same intent. That time it was Hardiman with the watching brief from Lockie Neal.
I'm not sure they're paying him enough respect. I mean, if you're on Lockie Neal, you've got to be on Lockie Neal, not just gazing.
Here's Uniac. And they're out of there for now from the Hardiman kick through the fingertips of Leicester. He's on his back and out of control, and he drag it under. Oh. He did.
Well, they've got a chance to break a line now here, the Kangaroos. Low-scoring game, only probably 4 goals would win it, Jono.
Good call from the umpire, as long as there wasn't any high contact on him. Definitely dragged it back. Jai Simpkin plays it down the line. Larky to the front, Payne's fist. Maybe he's Uniac, just playing for the ball up. As his way. Sherry takes it, sends it to half forward. Again, Harris Andrews found a way with the help from Answorth.
He's had a sneaky good game, Harris Andrews.
A great disruptor. Brisbane's lead is 10. Feels slender. North attacking. Sherry, Wilmot, restrained by Parker, and again the veteran back to Simpkin. And then Hardiman. Sheasel and finally Pink, and they go forward. Lucky comes late. Knocked away Payne at the front. Simpkin couldn't get it through the mess. Parker just jammed it on the boot to full forward. Darling. Oh, he's got it! Just long enough. You could see the look of dismay from Harris Andrews. He's not used to that.
It was actually brilliant bodywork from Jack Darling. He's got not much leap left in those tired legs, but he saw Harris behind him and he pushed back. And the ball just lobbed in his arms. Watch him go back. So he pushes back. Protected the drop of the footy and nabbed it.
To cut the margin to 4. We're headed for a grandstand finish.
We certainly are, Hutto, and that just bobbled around at centre-half, at centre-half forward for North Melbourne. And you can see here, and the kick was smothered, but gets through the legs of Lester. So Parker was able to clean it up and just put it to a dangerous spot. Get it to the stage. Darling, he was the one standing there.
Clever mop up from Luke Parker. Jack Darling with a smile on his face. On the board.
Moments and matches like this where experience can count.
The centre bounce can count.
Yeah, it's been pivotal, hasn't it?
Yes.
Back there again. Sherry against fourth this time. Down to Simpkin. The leaders are leading. The kick was just happening for a while. Zorko through the middle in a flash. Cameron to Bailey. And the full forward couldn't ask for better than that.
How quick was that, Hutto? Off half back, Zorko intercept mark, and
Zorko sensation.
within 5 seconds, Brisbane have got a mark inside forward 50.
And it's Hipwood. 2 goals, 1 for the evening for Eric Hipwood.
Once again, going from attack to defence. Too slow, the Kangaroos. They're getting a lesson at that by the Premiers.
Reigning Premiers are under fire. Up steps Eric Hipwood, the big easy.
Great kick. Well done to Big Eka. I mean, for a long, long time, his kicking was a bit of an Achilles heel, but he's nailed so many good ones now, including one of the most brilliant grand final goals we've ever seen, Jono.
It was.
But that was unfortunate. It was a kick to basically a non-contest, and Zorko was there, but he is a genius at coming off the back line with speed and hitting a target.
Fabulous goal. A third for Eric. That's back to 10 points. And order to some degree has been restored. But still some punches to be thrown in this one, you would suspect. Fourth got his mitts on that time. Simpkin again to Davies Uniac. Wilmot knew exactly when to take it and when to turn. Another high ball. Archie saw it early. Well done from Core. Slap dash back to the wing. Zerha. Answorth favoured by the bounce. And used his skill. And the palm brings it back to the middle to fourth. Suddenly the corridor is accessible in Brisbane's eyes anyway. Adventurous kick from Zorko out wide. Scott had to stand his ground. McDonald has to find his hand, and he did. Tucked under the arm by Davies Uniac. Had power running for him. He's got Wardlaw if he wants him. Instead, he went short to Zerha, and yes, Bursma, I should say.
Well, he's a good young kid with the ball in hand. Doesn't win much ball, but with the ball in hand, he can do some damage. That's really well played by North in transition. Not Powell's best kick, but he got there.
Had a shot early, couldn't convert. But the goal is there. Just couldn't get it close. Those are anxious moments for young players in the big game. They don't really know how to win. They haven't experienced it enough, North Melbourne.
They might have to win this off a set shot, so they've got to get this right. the Kangaroos on the run, okay, but their set shots haven't been great tonight.
They've got to work on getting the ball back right now. The Brisbane Lions don't give it up too often once they get hold of it.
Answorth down the line. Lovely leap from Hardigan. On one of his best games for North. Onto the left boot. Across the ground. It's a chance for Brisbane to step in. Ashcroft almost over the mark.
He's a couple of metres over.
Bailey Scott to pull forward. Playing in front. Lucky. Darling. Oh, my goodness. That just misses.
It is. They put Brisbane under pressure again, though.
You're on about the 50. Gone over the line. They've been very generous on Mother's Day.
What can Brisbane do here? They've got a bit to work out again. The Lions, 8-point lead. North Melbourne are making it difficult again, though.
Dane Zorko demanding that Wilmot kick to the other side, but he kept them guessing. To Payne. Wilmot wants it back instead. Very risky kick. It is confirmed. And Andrews has pushed him. Is it going to cost him?
You see the North player's eyes.
Now it's 50.
Yes, abuse.
Couldn't control his mouth. Even with the mouth guard in, the umpire understood what he was saying. And he has the walk back to the square, so this will not be a nervous moment. Instead, he'll go almost to the line. And Luke Parker to drive it through and cut the margin to just 2 points.
Are you sniffing something now, Jono? Can you sniff something now?
It's been a good second half of footy by North Melbourne, and full credit has to go to them in regards to the way that they've been able to work through this. And it's been their senior players of Parker and Simpkin that have really led the way. LDU's been quite good also.
Let's see if this should have been 50 first, though. It's definitely a free kick because he had the ball in one hand. Yeah, no, that's 50. You can't be doing that. He's got the ball. He's not trying to get rid of it. He's looking for the ball up.
Luke Parker's the leading ranked player on the ground. What a game he's had. Can he finish it off for the Kangaroos? Create a big victory for them tonight.
Cherry to Parker again. This is why they recruited him. High to half forward. Charging out was Dersma. The other way O'Sullivan. Was he tackled high? He was. Finn O'Sullivan.
Powell's just creeping inside forward 50 here. Dell, will they use him?
Hasn't kicked a goal in AFL football.
They've also got Sheasel trying to sweep around the back to get the handball received, but Loman's onto it.
Young man from Koroit, originally number 2 in the AFL draft. Still finding his way, just 18 years of age.
I like the work that they're trying to do in the goal square here to give Larky a jump at the ball if it drops short.
It's not on line. That doesn't score. Those are behind. Might have been Andy later.
So this is where they were unorganised that previous time coming out of defensive 50, the Lions. A lot of them were pulling it long down the line, trying to get numbers. But they are going to do it this time.
Lockie Neal on the bench at the moment. Morris are a worthy target. Loman hasn't really been a factor. Big numbers around the footy. Alistair Clarkson on edge. 3 wins, 6 losses against his old mate Chris Fagan. Archie. Dunkley. No easy possession to be won. It's hardcore stuff. It's riveting stuff. The Kangaroos.
Well, we saw in the opener the pained look they had on their face coming off the ground with a 2-point loss last week to the Bombers. They'll be driving them right now. Wardlaw hasn't touched it, so he's got another gear to go up. And this bloke is absolutely slaughtering the Brisbane Lions.
And he is telling everyone he's going for goal.
He's got the clocks on the scoreboard now, so he's got the 30 to try and set himself up here and see what he's going to do.
5 metres behind Brisbane.
Side for something, he's probably going to kick it to 20 metres out from goal.
You got it.
If he doesn't have a pure shot here, they've got to be careful on slingshot if he sets this one up.
And he does just set it up instead. Like he couldn't get at it, but they made the contest. Wardlaw versus Hipwood, so the forwards are back for Brisbane.
Oh,
It's
too high.
high against Leicester.
It's a really strong hustle inside forward 50 by the Kangaroos. Their forwards, they're up and they had some speed in closing up the Brisbane lines.
Constanti is the man. Jacob Constanti, 2 seasons in the VFL with the Sydney Swans. Came across with Luke Parker. Parker's already kicked a big goal. This is even bigger. What a moment for the young man. And it just got better. North Melbourne, yes, North Melbourne are in front.
Wow. Just soak this in. Because it was a great passage again from the Kangaroos. It was a set kick in from Cherry, but they had that representation at ground level. They got that on this occasion. Didn't allow the Lions to win the ball and then exit and get it over the top. Locked it inside forward 50. Constanti wins the free kick because he's a competitor. He just wanted the ball. He was in low. And had to finish. They needed that set shot win.
Well, they need a clearance here, the Brisbane Lions. They need the big O to get on top or at least neutralise. They're going with Darcy Ford again. He got the job done in the grand final, so why wouldn't you back him in?
Back in the centre. Sherry, he's not going to leave the ground from here, is he? Surely with 10 minutes to go. Maybe he'll get a quick rest somewhere.
No, you can't.
He was
Now, I
looking
think
for the
you've got to lock in now.
They got a spare on the other side in Scott doing nothing.
Ashcroft, valuable territory. Pink. Daniel, did he take him on? Only one step. Morris has had no luck with the umpire's calls tonight.
That's a big, you're right. It's a big call for Cherry because he hasn't arrested in this last quarter. So under 10 minutes to go.
Davies Uniac. Suddenly it's up to Brisbane to make the running. Payne comes in to try and wield his influence. Zorko goes to work. Quick hands, good hands. Wilmot got himself set. Kicked it long. Rayner. One but not two. Sheasel, go-ahead time. Uses Sherry. Gets further away from defensive goal and closer to their own. McKercher right. Big one-on-one.
That's a great mark in front.
Lockie Neal marks, takes off. Handball to Zorko. Off to McCluggage. Get out of the road, umpire. Centering ball, Levi Ashcroft's turn. Scott does enough. In the air and on the ground. The hands, Dersmer a bit quick. Davies Uniac lost traction. Didn't drag it in. Ashcroft careful with the tackle.
Lockie Neal versus
George Wardlaw.
George Wardlaw is so pivotal. Neither have got off the chain. You can see them playing separate.
Quick from Davies Uniac. Back to the middle. Zorko again. Floating handball. Simpkin read the cues. Tackled. Stripped of it. Zorko. Swing and a miss.
Oh, it was unfortunate, but
Reckless.
Wardlaw got his hand in to spoil the first attempt from the great Zorko, but then went too hard.
Quickly Neal just darts out to the side.
Yeah, no, it's reckless.
They've kicked it much higher. It hangs. Sherry back there. Fort. Rayner into the knee of Morris. They're circling here, Brisbane. Soccer. Oh, it's in danger.
Oh, it's tight.
Oh, we see that call out once a month.
Yes.
Was it there, Hutto? I didn't see it.
Well,
Wait for the replay.
here we go.
Close enough.
Hands are down.
It's a bit stiff because it was cleverly thought out.
It was well played.
Yeah.
Zach Bailey has a history of kicking goals, big goals, not just on grand final day, but late in tight finishes. And he's done it again. It's Brisbane back in front.
Well, they're all hard goals. I mean, they may look easy, but there's so much mental pressure on you to kick these goals that was another great finish. And the Lions just started to go to work, getting in lower, getting in faster. And Hattie Sheasel, rather than putting his head down and grabbing it, went off the ground. It looked clever until it didn't. As Christian Cherry got another clearance in him.
Well, what he will be doing is playing this entire last quarter. So the big O's back on after his spell.
And how good have these last 2 days and nights of footy been? Another thriller. Cherry prevails. What best handball from Parker. Suddenly and somehow they're forward again. Surging. Luke Davies-Uniacke. It's your turn.
It's a brilliant clearance. He's a ball magnet at the moment.
30th disposal. Was it behind? 1 point separating top and 17th.
Push out. And with the 10.
With the knee, not with the hands, but they've gone unrealistic.
Suddenly North Melbourne players playing above themselves. Pink's playing like a rock star. Kicks it deep into the pocket. Darling!
Oh, boomerang specialist.
He can curl it.
You going the right foot boomerang or you going the left foot?
No, I think he's going right foot. Right foot here.
Yeah.
He's called.
Jack Darling. North fans holding their breath. It's pretty skinny, Darling. That hurts, but it ties up the game. 64 apiece at Ninja. Zorko sends it to Rayner. Daniel does enough, the little man. Powell to the back where Comben was waiting. The Davies-Uniacke just got the measurements right. Sheasel, 6 minutes, 12 seconds. Are we headed for a draw? Or can someone be the hero? Zerha! Wasn't far off. On to Zorko. Zerha, not the first time. Goal was there for the taking. Oh, Darling! Yes, tonight!
That is huge from Zerha. Look at the leap here, Jared, but then keeps his feet after this contest.
Yeah.
Good tackle on Zorko without giving away the free kick. And then Darling out the front. He's had a couple of cracks tonight, Zerha, for the big hanger.
And the recruiting managers, the list managers, all the off-season pickups have all kicked goals in the last quarter. Parker, Constanti, and now Jack Darling and North Melbourne are back in front. Not a particularly easy homecoming for Chris Fagan just at the moment. We know how good the Lions are. The reigning premiers are being tested. The drama continues right to the end. Lockie Neal goes to work now. Shapes the kick. Wide out and hard forward. Just had to check himself, Loman. He did well. Places it deep. Actually went to the back radar. Is it paid? It is.
There's a clear mark. He's looking for 50 metres as well.
Now, it's a masterclass of centre clearance. Lockie Neal once again. They don't pay him any respect. It's incredible. He's won 2 Brownlows. He's a genius at these centre clearances. And yet your ball watcher let him go to where the ball's going to go.
2 goals straight tonight. Cam Rayner talked about his inconsistencies in front of goal this season. 5 goals, 8 coming in. But he loves the big stage now. Sends it straight through. And we are tied up again.
Brilliant goal from the Brisbane Lions. It started with the master. On the deck, Lockie Neal. Tom Proud was side by side, but when the ball hit the deck, he wasn't anywhere near him.
Remember this, the last time that North Melbourne beat Brisbane back in 2018, a young Cam Rayner missed his chance to put the Lions ahead. And he couldn't quite hang on to that. And had to be consoled by his teammates at the final siren. Since then, Brisbane have had the edge on North. But that was Chris Fagan as well. No mistake this time for Cam Rayner.
Oh, what a contested mark it was.
Surely Wardlaw goes into the middle. He hasn't had a touch this turn. He has got to be in there. He's their best clearance player. There he is, right by Lockie Neal.
Who would have thought we'd be down to the last 5 minutes and scores would be locked up? McCluggage to Dunkley to Zorko. So much experience and talent between them. High ball, Morris! You've got to pay that one, umpire.
He's had a couple of moments, hasn't he? Hasn't got his way tonight. Morris
Burgess today.
having another look. Yeah, in front, first touch.
Has to put it behind him now. Wardlaw got it to boot. It tumbles out to the wing. 4 minutes 42. Payne and Larkey engaged.
Well, the Warlord gets his first touch. It's a clearance. He's going to be up at this one. One clearance could decide this game, John.
Simpkins got to lock him away. You've got to watch McCluggage. Wardlaw's got to watch McCluggage, who likes to push forward out of stoppage as well. Can be dangerous. Well done,
That
Sherry.
from Sherry. 55 metres off his fist. And here comes Wardlaw lilling himself forward. Wilmot brilliant. Used Ainsworth cutting their way through the North defence. Back again for a moment. Ainsworth had to trust the left boot. Sherry comes again. That fist must be sore. It must be red. Wilmot going to ground. He still won't give in.
They lost touch on him. It was going to be holding the ball.
Good call from the umpire. That was a great decision. No one tackled him in the end.
4 minutes remaining now. Fought to ground, but the ball went forward to Dunkley, who knew where McCluggage was. Just taps it for Archie. Condon, his most important intercept mark of the night. Off to Daniel, just loads it up. It's not a great looking kick. Fletcher got sight of it first. It'll be Brisbane's play. Scores are still level.
It was a bad handball received by Daniel.
Into the pocket. Archie is held back by his teammate, Eric Hipwood.
I understand he's the kicker, but at that moment there, he didn't know what was out the other side of the ground, so he's taken a handball receive, not knowing what was out there from a release from a North Melbourne point of view, and just had to bomb it outside 50. They get it back in, 2v1, big grab by Hipwood.
Yeah, nice knee straight into the ribcage as well for Charlie.
In the post-Joe Danaher days, Eric Hipwood is pivotal to Brisbane up forward.
Shallow again.
Just can't quite get the right curve on the kick.
Way to go.
It's enough to put the Lions in front. Brisbane 71. North Melbourne 70. Sheasel back into play. 3 minutes to piece this together. What a climax. At Ninja Stadium, up to the wing goes the kick. The fists of fury from Andrews and to Sherry. To Simpkin left it behind, no matter. Wardlaw, time for a fumble to recover. He's overclocked it. And Leicester steps forward and takes the mark.
You can see the experience here. Clark cannot believe what he's just seen. Just total inexperience a couple of times now. Adrenaline destroying clear things.
It was a basic disposal. They don't cut that though. We've spoken about that a bit tonight from the North Melbourne point of view.
Still time though. Ball with Fletcher. Every kick now is telling potentially. You've got to get it right.
Spot on.
North have to man up. Can't make any of these possessions easy. Ashcroft. Just over 2 left in this. Abundance of options, none of them completely clear. He went down the line for Dunkley. North begin again. O'Sullivan. Daniel not quite. Boundary line is there for Zorko.
All right, this is their chance. They're able to get the long kick down the line now, force it out. The Kangaroos. They've been excellent in clearance in the second half of the game. Cherry's played the whole quarter though for the Kangas.
A minute 55 now. Sherry down to Daniel and back again. McCluggage. Wardlaw again found a way forward. Hacked it and hoped. Zerha! Yes!
Wardlaw again, ground level, had nothing to the 15-minute mark in his last 5 minutes. Has grabbed a couple of opportunities.
This has been huge from Christian Cherry.
It's massive, huge. Yeah.
He doesn't wait. Maybe he should
Score? Yes.
be a bit more careful on the kick. He's just in.
All right, Brisbane's chance. What will they do here? They're starting to set up down the corridor.
And they may have to risk losing this Kangaroos to win it.
Sorko goes for a length. Look at the climbers. Leicester, the cluggage. Fletcher, the lunge from Roy couldn't stop it, but Condon can.
Clear thinking is required now, obviously.
Short-circuited again by Condon. He goes to Caleb Daniel. The big man in the helmet in the ruck. The little man running in the helmet off halfback. Caleb Daniel just tweaks the kick from helmet to helmet. No mark. Dunkley instead.
This is a massive contest.
So Brisbane get... No, it's Charlie Condon again.
Oh, we're going for the win here.
They are going for glory. Stevens lets it slide forward. Costanti already has one goal. Payne cut the angles.
Had to be a handball, Jono.
Yeah, Dylan Stevens isn't happy either. That little forward handball would have got a deeper entry.
What a
And
spoil.
another opportunity. Big spoil here by Payne.
Jack Payne, a pain in the butt on that occasion for North. Scores are level. 27 seconds to make a hero of yourself. Davies Uniac, they're 25 from goal. Zerha, 19 seconds. It's been a game of so many stoppages, and they've got the big number 38. Can he do it again? Against Darcy Fort at his feet, it's Neil, it's McCluggage.
Here's a chance.
Fletcher, 13 seconds to go. Up went Sheasel, Daniels kick is smothered. 7 seconds, I'm not sure they can do it. Wardlaw heaves it into the pocket. It's going to be a draw. North Melbourne have almost pulled off the mother of all upsets, but they couldn't quite. It is a draw. 71 apiece. And as always, it's hard to know what to think after all that. What a finish.
You're right, Hutto. What an excellent finish. It was. Brisbane Lions will be really disappointed, of course, with the way that they played, I think, throughout the majority of the game. But credit to the Kangaroos and their fight to get the game played back on their terms, Jared.
Yeah, they got out of jail, the Brisbane Lions, to get 2 points. There's a couple of inexperienced mistakes in that last few minutes that should have given the Kangaroos the win. And I remember the eyes of Luke Parker walking off last week after the 2-point loss to the Bombers. Not quite as devastated, but still feeling gutted. Delph?
Well, Joy, really tough situation and a unique one. Can you describe the emotions and actually how are you feeling after a draw?
Yeah, it's as you said, it's a weird feeling. It's my second draw down here, actually. First time's against the Giants, but look, I'm just super proud of the boys and the way we stuck in there and just keep fight. Continued the fight throughout the game, especially that second half. I think we're just peppering and playing some forward half footy, which is what we've been after. I hope the fans and everyone can see the style and the way we want to play, because I feel like, especially in the last 2, 3, nearly 4 weeks, it's really starting to come out. You know, the last probably 3 games, unfortunately there wasn't an extra 2 minutes, otherwise for the last 3 weeks I reckon we might have got a win. But yeah, just super proud of the boys, and it's weird having the draw.
Let's try and unpack that last couple of minutes. When it is a draw, how much are you trying to win the game opposed to not losing it?
It's just all our win. You'd rather take it on, like Charlie Coleman got the mark and half back and just belted it out to the other side. If that happens to go down the other end and lose, so be it. I think everyone wants to win. You don't want to walk off the ground knowing you tried to save a draw, that's for sure.
And what about Zerha when he had that shot late in that game? You trying to back him in, or once again just preparing for the just-in-case scenario?
I think he would have backed himself in, the big fella. No, we've got trust in our forwards to make the right decision, and unfortunately it didn't go through, but we're prepared anyway. So, yeah, it's a weird one.
Tough game. Well done.
Thanks, Dale. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Well, don't want to sound like the English cricket team, but there's a moral victory of sorts for North Melbourne. Certainly better than
Of course there is, Hutto. They've been able to have a draw with the reigning Premier, who have been playing unbelievable football throughout 2025. Here's the final kick from Cam Zerha, North Melbourne's last chance to
I'm not sure it was their last chance. I mean, that was a set shot, but that one where they're running inside forward 50, long bombed instead of a handball, Jono. I think that was their obvious one. You can see the skipper, he's got all the boys in. Maybe
looks like they're going to play extra time.
Well, that debate will raise again tomorrow after it does after every draw. But they had their opportunities, the Kangaroos. They end up with 2 points. He'll be frustrated, he'll be filthy. But he'll also know it's part and parcel of the process of getting better. But that was the big win that was just sitting there on the platter. Had to work really hard at the end.
Let's get back to Dell with the other side of the court.
Well, Lockie, an unusual situation. We just spoke to Jai Simpkin. How do you feel after a draw? What's the emotions?
Yeah, we had a draw last year against the Crows, so unfortunately we know what it's like just recently. Credit to North, I thought they brought pressure and energy all game, and we were a little bit off and, couldn't get it done. But, we'll probably take the 2 points in the end. We couldn't have played too much worse, but like I said, credit to North. They actually played really well.
I'm sure you came here today expecting a really tough game. That's what you got. I asked Jai the same question. I'm interested from your perspective. 2 minutes roughly to go. Scores a level, up by a point, down by a point. How do you play out those scenarios? How much are you trying to win the game opposed to not give North the opportunity to score?
Yeah, it probably comes down to field position. So when it's in their attacking half, it's more kill the game. And then if we happen to get it forward to centre, then we can attack. And it was probably living in there. Forward half, that last minute and a half, so it was more trying to shut it down and don't let them score.
Yeah, a really good centre clearance with a few minutes to go. That I think it came out wide near where we are right now, and came rain and kicked a goal. At a centre square bounce, when you're in those situations, you're on the fly trying to get the ball forward. Once again, how do you balance that out with making sure that the Kangas ultimately don't go the other way?
Yeah, you probably just want a little bit of protection out the front and then get a little bit proactive yourself. So find that balance, but also have a little bit of protection, which we probably lost a little bit. I think they got one out the front in that centre bounce. So we'll review that and get to work.
I appreciate your time. I can tell by the way you're speaking, it's a little bit mixed and it's sort of difficult to work out how we feel off the back of a draw.
Yeah, thanks, mate. But we'll probably take the 2 points in the end.
Got it. Appreciate your time.
A thrilling match down in Hobart, but unfortunately for both teams, it ends in a draw, a hollow feeling for the players, maybe a moral victory for the Kangaroos. Brisbane probably short price favourites, but they don't quite get it done. So the football comes to an end, and we all know what that means. It's time for bounce.
Oh, this is pathetic.
Great to have your company on another Sunday night, and we kick things off tonight with a very special happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there. Great to have you joining us tonight. We hope you've had a great day with the family, and we appreciate the love and the work that you do each and every day. All right. Formalities out of the way. We've got a big studio audience in here ready to have a little bit of fun. It's punishment night tonight on Bounce, which is always a lot of fun. And, of course, we're all here for the stars. And our stars tonight basically embody every redeeming feature of humankind.
Thank you.
Love, honesty, integrity, happiness, kindness, beauty, intelligence, a gentle good humour. And their names are Andrew Gaze, Ben Dixon and Cameron Moore.
Wow.
Are you feeling okay? You're all waiting for the sting in the tail, weren't you?
You are really in form.
It's unfortunate we do have to start tonight's show on a downer, though, because we saw something yesterday at the MCG which has basically left a lot of people with a heavy heart. Incredibly disappointing.
All right, folks, there we go. How was that? We had a draw. I tell you what, North Melbourne, they were attacking most in that final quarter. Everyone was going for North. Everyone was going for the Lions. I was going for the North. I wanted to see them get up. They've been so close in recent times. And, of course, for the Maggies, I tell you what, they were pretty good, North Melbourne, though. They were attacking. I think if there was another 45 seconds, maybe North Melbourne or another minute they would have got. But they had their chance. Look, I think they had their chance. They certainly did most of the attacking in that final quarter. They did well. But just some of the wobbly kicking in that last quarter. Look, 4 goals, 5 they put on North Melbourne in that final term. 3 goals to the Lions. Footy flicks too. How you going? What a performance, North. Fantastic. I tell you what, they were good. They were good. I tell you, North hasn't been playing too bad a footy. They've been putting parts of quarters together for the past few weeks, and they've been getting really close without being able to win. I think it was definitely a step closer. I think they'll gain a little bit more confidence again out of tonight's game, even a draw. Just even hanging on to a draw there, and was still attacking, which is really good for their inexperienced side. I think that's the difference. Even though putting Brisbane under a bit of pressure there, that's for sure. When Brisbane can sort of compose themselves in games like that, and North Melbourne were pretty good. I think it's not too far away before North Melbourne come with a victory. I think they're a little bit like Richmond. It's not too far away before they start to win. Of course, the Tigers had a win today. We'll have a look at the goal scorers, etc. in just a moment. So we'll have a look at next week's game, who these two teams play. Talk about that. Actually, the Lions next Sunday, play Melbourne at the Gabba, so that's a home game. And of course, unfortunately for everyone else, Brisbane Lions have now gone on top of the ladder by half a game. And of course, next, I tell you what, this is going to be a fantastic game if you're a North Melbourne supporter, footy fan supporter. North Melbourne play Richmond at the MCG next Sunday, 1:10 p.m. game. That is going to be an absolute ripping game. That's going to be fantastic. I know the big boos go in for Brisbane being on top of the ladder. If Brisbane keep playing like that, there's no point in tipping them. I know, they just have these games though, don't they? But Brisbane do play Melbourne next week. That's going to be a danger game, but it is at Brisbane. It is at the Gabba, so it should be an interesting game. But you know what? That's going to be one of the that could be one of the games of the round to watch. I think next week, North Melbourne versus Richmond at the MCG. That's going to be an absolute cracker. That is going to be absolutely on cracker. On Google, what's on Google? They gave North a point. Yeah, North got a point. It's 10-11-71. 10-11-71. It's a draw. No chit chat, gabba. Exactly right. Hey, who ended up with all the goals tonight? Of course, it was Cam Rayner, Eric Hipwood in with 3. Mind you, Eric Hipwood had a shot on goal. He kicked it behind late in that final quarter, which normally he'd just swallow for breakfast, but he pulled it to ride a goal, went through for a point. So that certainly gave North Melbourne a chance. Both teams had their chances of winning that game. So Rayner, Hipwood both with 3 each. Charlie Cameron, Bailey, Ashcroft, Achie with the singles for Brizzy. And of course for the Kangas, Zerhard, Darling with 2. Darling was pretty good in that last quarter. Tell you what, he gives them a great target down there. 9 touches for Darling, 6 kicks, 2 goals, 2. He was good. He had 3 marks, 2 hit-outs and a tackle as well. Wardlaw, Stevens, Parker, McKercher, Lakey, Constanti all got singles for the Kangaroos. Zorko, 39. That's a monster game from him. 29 kicks, 10 handballs, 8 marks, 2 tackles. It should give North a lot of confidence in that game, knowing that they matched it with the best in the competition at the moment, which is obviously Brisbane, because they're on top of the ladder. I'm sure. So I said next week's going to be just a fascinating game. This is a game where North Melbourne would actually think that they should be winning against Richmond. Although Richmond are playing great footy and they had a win today against West Coast, this would be a game North Melbourne would be thinking they should win. Zorko, 39, top of the table. Uganaki, the best for the Roos on 32, the only 2 players in 30 disposals. Harry Schniesel, bless you, on 29 there. Hugh McCluggage, 28. Dunkley, 27. Will Ashcroft, 26. Luke Parker, tell you what, he's been a great addition, hasn't he, to the Roos? Just a bit of experience there. 23 touches. We'll just roll down the board as we go. Lockie Neal, slow game from him today, I thought. 17. We had a couple of vital possessions there in that last quarter where North Melbourne could have grabbed the ball and ran down the wing. Who else have we got there for everyone? If everyone has a look. Callum Achie with just the 10 today. He's a player that well, I'd expect more from. Eric Hipwood, 9 disposals, 9 kicks, 8 marks, so grabbing the ball well. 3 goals too, always danger when it gets in his hands. At least a draw with Melbourne. That'd be all right. That'd be all right. If Melbourne can have a draw with Brisbane, that'll be fantastic. That'll be the best news. Well, or a loss, but a draw would be okay as well for the Pies. Team stats, the Lions there by 24, so there wasn't too much in this game. Inside 50s, both teams 51 apiece had their chances. Free kicks, well, pretty similar, 18-15. Yeah, look, there was one free kick. The umpire said kicking in danger, which resulted in Brisbane goal. Well, I tell you what, I don't know. Look, it's tingy touch. I thought he had, I don't know whether he had the foot on the ball first or the hands went down. I'll leave that one to the umpires. Hit-outs, +3 to the Lions. Clearances, North Melbourne did well there, 47-32, +15. Centre clearances, great to see North Melbourne matching it with Brisbane mids there, 10 apiece. Stoppage clearances, North Melbourne doing the job. Fantastic. Not a great deal. Contested possessions all pretty well even, only +16 to North. There we go. What's that? +32 uncontested to Brisbane. Turnovers pretty high. It was a pretty high pressure game. Tell you what, even Brisbane Lions were under pressure in that final quarter there today. And a few more marks. +23 marks inside 50. You've got to be happy with that, both sides. Plus 13 marks inside 50 for each team is really good. And of course, as we were saying about the tackles, both teams going above average and tackling nicely inside their forward 50. So as I should do for everyone. Here we go. There we go. It's not like the rest of us supporters like to see this. But for the Brisbane supporters, you are on top. Played 9, won 7, lost 1 and drawn 1. There we go. You're on top of the ladder by 2 points to Collingwood. Hawthorn sitting on second and third, 28. Gold Coast Adelaide, 4th and 5th. And to round out the top 8, Western Bulldogs, Geelong, Giants, just sitting outside is Essendon. North Melbourne still sitting down there. Let me roll this up just in case anyone can't see it. North Melbourne there, sitting down there in 17th, played 9, won 1, lost 7, drawn 1. Tell you what, they're playing like a team that should be a little bit better than that. But I'm sure North Melbourne will have a few wins up their sleeves, not too far away, because they're quite impressive the way they're playing. As I said, they've got some fight about them. Hey, I tell you what, the poll was super close today. The poll was super close. I had North Melbourne 50% winning, Brisbane Lions 49%. I don't know what happened to the other 1%. Yeah. Maybe Google took the 1%. Sentinel. Let's hope Brisbane loses next week, so Collingwood goes first. We hope so. We certainly hope so. Hey, next week's games, don't forget, and before I do that, let me just remind everyone, the winners this week, Collingwood over Fremantle, St Kilda, losing to Carlton. Carlton winners there. Hawthorn defeating Melbourne. Essendon winners over Sydney. Gold Coast Suns defeating the Western Bulldogs. Of course, Adelaide in the derby won by 5 points over Port Adelaide. Richmond today, 2-point winners over West Coast. Another tight game. The GWS Giants, 4-point winners over Geelong. And of course, a draw here this evening. Can you believe it? Hey, folks, 4, 5. There were 6 points. 6 points separating 3 games today. Talk about great football today. That was fantastic. All right, don't forget, next week it all kicks off again. Round 10. That's Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Melbourne time. This is going to be a ring-a-ding-ding game. I'll tell you what. Gold Coast Suns, they're taking on Hawthorn. That's going to be an epic clash. I think Gold Coast might get the job done. That's up at TIO Stadium in Darwin. That's going to be a ripper game. Following that, Friday evening, Sydney Swans at home at the SCG, taking on the might of the Carlton Football Club. And of course, I tell you what, there are games of the round every game. This is just a monster round. Round 10. Of course, Saturday, 1:20 p.m, we've got the might of the mighty Collingwood Football Club taking on the Adelaide Crows, the MCG, 1:20 p.m. This is going to be an absolute ripper. I tell you what, I have to go out Saturday afternoon, but I want to try and stick around, do this game for everyone, the Collingwood-Adelaide game. I want to make sure I do this game before I head out Saturday afternoon. Of course, following that, you've got Port Adelaide taking on the Geelong Cats over there at Adelaide Oval. GWS, the Giants, they'll be taking on Freo at Engie Stadium there up in Sydney. And of course, Saturday evening next, Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium take on Essendon. Sunday, big game. I tell you what, they might sit low on the ladder, but this is going to be an absolute ripper game. This is one game I'm really going to enjoy to watch. And of course, that is Richmond taking on North Melbourne, the MCG, next Sunday at 1:10 p.m. Following that game, well, all these games will sort of run into each other. I don't know who I'm going to do. Maybe I'll start off Sunday doing one, and then I'll be able to do maybe the last 3 quarters of Brisbane taking on Melbourne at the Gabba, 3:20, and then might be able to round out with the final quarter of the West Coast Eagles taking on St Kilda over there at Optus Stadium in Perth. I tell you what, folks, hold on to your hats. Make sure you got plenty of popcorn in the cupboard. Everything's set to roll because it all starts next Thursday evening, round 10. Round 10 is going to be the round of the season so far, I feel. Way everyone's sitting, way everyone is playing at the moment. I think this is definitely so far the round of the season. Crows have no chance in winning. I tell you what, I hope not. And I think we should. I think the Pies should get a few of the players back. At least Pendlebury, side bottom should be playing. Maynard, I would think, would be playing again. Probably Myercheck. I'll probably get a few players back in. Pop my corn, AFL. That's it. Pop the corn. Miles can't wait. I can't wait either. It's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding round 10. It's going to be epic. Whew. Can't wait to go for Collingwood game round 10. Are you going to the game, Liam? Holy moly. That'll be absolutely fantastic. I tell you what, Adelaide are in fantastic form. They're playing great footy. Artemis, how you going? By 1 point. Yeah, no, not by it. Today's game is a draw. There we go. Go Richmond Tigers for next week. I tell you what, Ryan, that's going to be an absolute ring-a-ding-ding game. The Tigers next week. They're playing North Melbourne. Both teams playing good football. I tell you, both teams playing good football. Don't worry about, they're sitting down there in about 16th and 17th position. These two teams are playing good football, up-and-coming sides that will definitely give teams a fair bit of trouble going forward, even for the rest of this season. It will be amazing. It will be amazing. I'll tell you what, I'm tipping they'll have a fair crowd there. I'm tipping they'll have at least 65,000 at that game. I'm sure the Adelaide crowd will rock on over, and there'll be plenty of Collingwood army out there at the MCG, hoping for some good weather for the footy next week. Should be a ripper. Who will win? Tell you what, who will win? That, you know what, that's a good question. Tell you what, I can give you my early tips for next week if you want. My early tips for next week is I tip Gold Coast against Hawthorn. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Sydney or Carlton? I'll tip Carlton against Sydney because Sydney just up and down at the moment. I'll tip Collingwood against Adelaide. I'll tip Geelong against Port Adelaide. I'll tip the Giants against the Dockers. I'll tip the Western Bulldogs against Essendon. You know what? I think I might actually have to tip North Melbourne against Richmond. Well, no, actually, I might even tip this one as a draw. I can't choose between this game. Both of these teams are playing fantastic, but I tell you what, North Melbourne are playing good brand of footy. The Lions against Melbourne. Yeah, you've got to go for the Lions at home. But that's a danger game for the Lions again. West Coast St Kilda, you got to go for the Saints. There's my tips for next week. Sydney will win because it's in Sydney. I know, but I don't know whether Sydney is such a stronghold as may have thought for the Sydney folk up there. Tigers maybe at the MCG. Maybe maybe. But I'm sure North Melbourne play their reason. I know North Melbourne probably prefer to play at Marvel Stadium, but I think what we saw today shouldn't trouble them. The MCG Richmond Tigers will win over North Melbourne, says Ryan, the big Richmond supporter. Tell you what, they're a good chance. Ryan, that's a game. That is a game that's. I think I'll just tip a draw in that game. That's one game. I'll just be excited to watch because I think it's going to be a ripping game. I think that's going to be a ripping game. North Melbourne, Richmond next week. You wouldn't think so because two teams sitting down 16-17, I think, but both teams are in pretty good form. North Melbourne, I tell you what, North Melbourne, with a little bit more luck, they could have been right up there because they've lost a few games this year by just a small margin. But that's the difference, with a bit of experience, inexperience. Some of those games, they're the games you sort of learn to win when you're an experienced side. It's a little bit like, well, I was going to say Geelong, but it's like Collingwood used to do, what was it, 2023, etc. like that. They could just find a way to win in those close games. I think they had about 10 games within like 10 points they won, or somewhere around that in 2023. I'm a Roos fan, good game. I tell you what, it was a fantastic game. You want to be very, very happy and very proud of your team, Jai and Dom. North Melbourne, very good. I tell you what, they fought the entire game. They put Brisbane under so much pressure. I thought North Melbourne were going to do it in the end. They got the ball down their end. I tell you what, it was, it was just, all they had to do was just take one more mark and it would have been game, set, match. But that's the way footy is. That's why we love footy. It's very unpredictable. We can never know who's going to win, who's going to lose, or if it's going to be a draw. We go. It's all fantastic. Good game, Joe. It was a fantastic game. I tell you what, I didn't see the Richmond West Coast game today. That would have been exciting because Richmond won by 2 points. We were there at the Geelong. We were watching the Geelong GWS game. That was exciting in the last quarter. But I tell you what, this game, for the game I saw, North Melbourne Brisbane, this was the most exciting final quarter because I think we're really cheering for the underdog of the Kangaroos here, and they nearly got it and it ended up in a draw. So, in the end, probably fitting result. But exactly, AFL best sport in the world. You better believe it. Hey, nothing compares to the AFL. You just have a look. Have a look at the crowds. Have a look at the crowds we get at the AFL, especially at the big grounds. We can just get a home and away game that we'll get 70, 90, 80,000 in there, no worries. A lot of other sports, they can't fill those stadiums. They can't get the supporters going. So there we go. I'm only glad we played here in Oz. I tell you what, it'd be interesting if they played it elsewhere. I think I don't know whether to really go international. I think every country's sort of got their own sports. And trying to infiltrate another country's sport is just very tough. It's a little bit like here, where soccer tries to infiltrate, AFL football, and it can't match it. Soccer just cannot match football here in Australia. It just can't. Because we got like our other football code is like rugby, rugby union, rugby league. For Sydney, Brisbane, a lot of those two, that's what they were sort of brought up on, and I don't know whether soccer is going to infiltrate that either. So, but yeah, definitely AFL football. Yeah, I think it's the greatest game in the world. Ooh, I tell you, where else? When you can be at a game of sitting in a crowd of 85,000, the atmosphere is just electric. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you know what? And both sets of fans, they can all sit with each other. And normally most of them behave, which is good. You do get a couple of crazies in there, but that's another thing. That's another story. I would love to see the AFL not serve alcohol at all at the football. That's just personal. So when I've been there and I've seen it, but it's a great game. Some people say rugby is the best sport in Australia, but it's definitely AFL. Oh, it's definitely AFL. Rugby, oh my gosh. No, look, it's their sport, and look, we're happy for them that they love their rugby so much. That's great. Holy moly, my eye. There we go. There we go. I might have to wrap this one up because my battery on my phone is about to die. All right, everyone. Thanks all for coming in. Hey, we'll see you next Thursday when the AFL action kicks off again at 7:30 p.m. next Thursday night. It's going to be a cracking game. Gold Coast Suns taking on Hawthorn up there in Darwin. Well, it's going to be an absolute ripper. Absolute ripper. All right, folks. Yeah, just in case the phone actually goes off, I better turn it off. I've got 2% left. Oh, my gosh. I plugged my phone in, but sometimes when you're live streaming, it just takes more power than the charge puts in. So there we go. All right, folks, that's it. Ciao for now. That's it. Cheers, Ryan, Jai, Liam, everyone else, Emmanuel, M. King, everyone else, Game Board who popped on in, and everybody else. Kids, Moroni, it's a draw. Both teams are even. That's exactly right. All right, folks. Hey, thanks a lot. We will catch you next time. So until next time, ciao for now. I might just leave this on for another 1 minute, just in case there are any latecomers in want to check the score. But that's all I got for this time. So until next Thursday, hey, ciao for now. We'll see you at that game.